Hello. Yeah, I wanted to come here and make a video. I've been wanting to make one for a while now. Um, I kind of want to share my story and kind of where I am now and where I was about 8 years ago, right? Um, so 8 years ago, I had a pretty bad mushroom trip, magic mushrooms. I took a high dose amount, and my friend had to leave, so I was by myself in the woods, and I really went to a place where I would call it rock bottom. Like I had a really bad stomach ache, and I went to the depth of the pain inside of me, and I really hit the bottom. Like I was in suffering, and I was seeing dark shadows moving around me. I really thought I was gonna die, going to hell. And then I hit the point where I kind of got it, right? I got that there was a limit to this end, to the suffering. And I realized that what I was going through was really a realization, a big realization of who we are, right? The realization I've had is, how cold and heat, right? And darkness and light, right? Suffering and love. I realized that suffering, that cold, and that darkness were not something to itself, right? Because if you think about, oh, darkness is dark, but it's just the absence of light, and and suffering is the absence of love, and cold is the absence of heat. So if you realize these things, you realize there's an absolute zero, there's an absolute darkness. So there is a limit to these events, or these outcomes. So if you look at cold, right? If you look at heat, there is no proof right now, if you can look it up, that there is a maximum heat, right? It hasn't been proven, right? But there is a proof, absolute zero, that is cold, right? So what I realized when I was in this state, really, really suffering state, is there is a limit, right? You cannot suffer for eternity. That is a myth. Take that out of your mind. There is a place where you hit this end, and you realize that the only thing left from that place is realization, is truth. And you start connecting to this little light inside of you. Even though sometimes it's 0.00001% light, you still can connect to this little light. And then the more you put your attention to it, this is what happens, the more it grows, and you realize that this light does not have a limit, does not have an end, does not have limitations, does not have boundaries. This light is, you can call it God, you can call it consciousness, source, love, anything, any words, any religions, they call it all the same. This love is who you are, and it is who you were born as. You cannot not be it. It's like an ant. You cannot not be an ant, right? You can't start flying like a bird, right? It is who you are. It is your nature. You are born pure innocence. There's nothing in your life that you've done so far that you should feel guilty, because you are born innocent, right? So you are just a victim of the environment, of what people want you to know, of your parents' beliefs, of all these conditionings. You are just a victim of those, right? So don't blame yourself. Don't feel bad for it. If you did something wrong yesterday, don't feel bad. You are innocent. But in order to connect with your true heart, with your true self, you need to realize these things, because then you realize that everything that you were told without experiencing it is just a concept. Without having your personal experience, it's just a concept. So even if your parent says, hey, don't do this, without you having experience or seeing someone else experience it with your own eyes, it's hard for you to have a concrete understanding. So that's why you're filled with all these concepts and ideas from the news, from your parents, from society, from everybody, from the movie. Sorry, the video got cut off. Yeah. So basically, what I was saying is, these movies and all these videos, these TV dramas, all these information that you get from the media, they're all there, to kind of put an agenda so that you are in a place where your energy's going outwards. It's not going inwards, right? It's for the people that put this into play, people that have lost the connections to their heart, and that the only way they can sort of have a sense of reconnecting to it is by domination, deception, and power over people, right? It is sad, but we are in a world where the rich get richer, right? We all know this. But now we are at a time where people get empowered, right? They start their own business. They start their own enterprise. They want to, get the energy and the money going inwards instead of going outwards. And realize that to be happy, you don't need to have the fastest car, the biggest house. You just have to understand the truth, right? Which is that you are love, and that your essence is appreciation, gratitude, gratefulness, and be able to be present with someone without having anything in return. Being able to truly give your 100% and be connected to someone, even though they're they're labeled as bad, or it's just to understand people and to understand where they came from, and realize that everyone is born a baby, right? Everyone is born pure love, pure innocence. Is to really connect to this place where there is no separation between you, within the grass, between people, between the trees, and realize that you're all the same, right? And that's hard, because the mind can't comprehend these things, right? We use this tool for something it's not designed for, right? The mind is designed, if you're running in a forest, try to avoid the roots, right? Or else you're gonna trip, right? It's designed to to do some equations, some calculations, to have a sense of perception. Okay, this is the wall. If I keep running, I'll run into the wall, right? The mind is a tool. It's not designed to go in the future, in the past, and to start elaborating all these ideas and stories in your head. The true heart essence is not somewhere else. And you don't have to achieve it. You don't have to go on the top of a mountain and capture it there. It is always here. Right? You were born with it. It was always there. It's never left. You just have an idea of something you're not, and you believe it. Right? It's not your fault. You were conditioned this way. So, my goal is for you to realize and kind of get out of this matrix reality where we don't know why we're here. We don't know what the point is. We don't know why we wake up in the morning. We wake up and we take 5, 6 different prescription drugs, and then we come home, and then we have alcohol, and we're so numbed down to the point where we can't feel anything. So in order to kind of leave this state, you need to realize why you're here, and realize the whole game, right? And then when you realize the game, not that you don't want to participate, but you realize where you can get caught, right? Where the mind gets caught, where the attachments happen. And then when you realize these things, you start making decisions based on the heart and not based on the mind, right? Based on love and not based on ego. You may start making decisions towards bringing the energy back inside of you instead of giving it outwards, right? There's a lot of traps out there, right? There's a lot of things that they put out there to kind of get you hooked in, right? But if you're in a place of love and understanding and appreciation, any experience that you have, you're going to experience it from the heart. So you're going to have empathy, you're going to have appreciation for the experience, you're going to be full of joy and full of appreciation for the conversations you're having. My goal is to get you to this point where there's not the means to an end, right? You're not caught up in here. You're not caught up in okay, I'm doing this so I can get this, so I can get that. You wake up in the morning and have 85 goals, and all these goals are based on objects or things, right? Or moving up in the career and making more money. And we both know that the more money you make, most of the time is the more you spend. So it's all relative. The main purpose here is to get you connected with your heart and being able to be in a place where there's no need for suffering and separation. You've learned, you've got it, right? Because until you get it, life is going to try to teach you lessons, and a lot of these lessons can be painful. So, it's all trying to get you out of the ego world, the ego state, the identity state, and get you into unconditional love states, gratitude, appreciation, and to stay there. Even if there's a little road bump, you can still stay there, right? Create this immovable place where no matter what happens, you can stay connected. I really hope this helped. I'll be making more videos, and I'll be sharing more of my experiences. And yeah, if there's any comments or any questions, and that's all I want to do, is try to shed some light on a lot of these, these subjects of suffering or pain or discomfort, anxiety, frustrations, guilt, resentment, vengeance, jealousy. So I just trying to get you off of these states and stay in states of appreciation, gratefulness, light, just being light. Just when you're around people sense that energy of light. Like you're there to try to better them and try to guide them towards being more of them. Much love.